Hello everyone, welcome to today's session of CodersTrust. So I hope you are watching my screen properly and listen my voice. Well, let me check if you have any comment. Just you can comment here. The session you can see. If you are logged in with your Gmail account, you can comment your resume in the comment section. And before starting my main session, I am just showing something about the settings of the screen resolution, which is important. Well, you can see the settings option here. Just click on it and choose the quality option and select 360 for 80 or 720, any of them, but not 240 or 144 because those are actually enrolled the resolution and you cannot see my screen properly if your select if your option is selected by those option. So try to select it at least 360 and 480 or 720 if your internet speed is faster. Well, today's topic is about HTML form. The form is actually used in many where in the web uh, area. You can see there is login form. It can be registration form. It can be any survey form. It can be a contact form. So there are a lot of forms around in the web world you can see. And today we'll introduce those elements and various type of the input that means that actually form contains, and also design a basic registration form, and finally we'll do some validation with HTML5. That means those are actually HTML5 feature. And you can comment or any thing you want to know, you can just comment here. I will be busy in the coding section, but I'll try to check it on the regular interval. So if you have any problem, in that case, I will try to fix it out as soon as possible. Okay, let me check for the final attempt before starting the main session. And whoever joined later, don't worry. You can see the missing part just replaying in the same URL. When our session will be completed, the whole session will be actually recorded. So you can see the recorded version from the beginning if you want to see any missing part. Okay, so let's start for today's session. It's about HTML form, so I'm just doing something in the HTML. Just taking a form tag. In the form tag, there are some attributes. First one is action. Well, what is actually action will be used for? Action is actually the URL of the file you want to send the data of the form. That is when an user actually fill the form and submit the form, and where the data actually or the form will be submitted. It can be in the same file. For example, sorry. For example, if our file is index.php or it can be actually index.php, actually .html will not process any file. Actually, it will processed by the backend programming language like PHP or SP or whatever. So, for example, so in that case, PHP, if you want to keep in the same file, so you don't need to do anything here. But if it can be other file rather than the same file, so it can you can mention the name like the contact form or submit.php whatever. And there is another attribute which is actually a method. There are two methods basically. One is get, another is post. So get is when you release the get, the data will be sent through the URL. That means it can be sent like that. Just showing some example. For example, there are some name, so you can select the name, city, and there is another things in name. So you can send this email something. So this way, that means all the elements will be actually send in this way, just an ampersand sign and name it actually the name of the input, and this is the value. So email is the name of the input and it is the value. So in this way, so it is actually sent by the URL and for the get method. And actually it is not good practice if you have many things to send and there's some secure data also like password or something else. So just the get is mostly used in the search form. For example, just you want to search something in your website as a global search. The search keyword for this reason you can use the get, but usually it is recommended to use the post method. So I use the post, though it will not differ because we will do only the HTML part. So there is nothing to do with the submitting from today's session for today's session. And there's another thing is encryption type. Encryption type by default this one, the first one, the application. If you don't mention anything, so actually it will take this one first one as default. But if you have something in the form like data document like the document or PDF file you want to upload or an image. So if you want to upload any image or any file, in that case you have to mention it second option, which is actually the multi-part form data. This one, the second one. So it is not by default selected. So you have to mention it if you have any data like image or document. Okay, so this is about the form attributes. Now I'll go for the first input type like input type text. This text is actually the plain text or you can say it as string. For example, we have a name like first name. First name basically will be a plain text, so there will not be any like number or any selection, just it is the plain text. So you can mention it like this one, type text. And if we check the output, you can see now you can see just the input like this one, input box. And there is another one like input type checkbox. So let's see how checkbox works. For example, we have something like interest, so we can salary, reading, and so on. You can see the selection. That means if you have many options and you can select one or more option, so it can be done within the using the checkbox. And there is another one which is actually number. For example, we want to upload some number without any text, so we can use this one like this one. So you can see there is number, and also we can increase decrease this number using those drop down arrow sign. And we can also use radio. radio so radio is actually something like text box, but the difference is that in the radio you have to select just one. For example, we have two options like male and female, but it will not work. Okay, I'll explain why. You can see I can select actually both options, but this should be just I can select one. In that case, actually you have to group this one by the name. For example, it can be gender. Also, it can be gender. That means for the gender input, we have two option. So only one can be selected. So we have grouped these two input by this name gender. So let's check now. Well, I can select it. If I select it, it is unselected by default. So we can just select one of them. Also, you can use another grouping using this video, like this one. Okay, the group can be like 8, one can be like about 20, another is below 20. Okay, so let's check now. Well, I can select it. I can select it, but I cannot select one of them. That means I can just select one of them, not the both together, because they are actually binded using the H name, but they are also binded all the genders. So we can make many group using this name attribute. So like this one. So just only one can be selected. But for the checkbox, it must be selected actually more than one, not only one. Uh, there are many options and you can select one or more options. Now I will go for another input. It's text area. Well, text area is a little bit different with the input type. This is actually for writing. It's a long text. You can see if you want to write a multi-line text. If you check any comment area or any status like Facebook status, you can see there are a box where you can write many lines. So this actually for using the text area, and also we can control the size of the text area using like column. So if you want to make the column like 30, and you can also give the rows. For example, you want to give the rows 10. So the site will be around like this. So you can see uh, 10 rows means actually it is the 10 line, and columns actually it will be the 10 character, sorry, 30 character. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like this 30 will be per line, and there will be around 10 line maximum. But it can be increased because you can see there is something if you want to make it more, so you just drag it to increase the size. And there's another input type, which is actually the input type submit. That is, after completing the form, we have to submit something. And for the submit, there is a value that we want to make like sent. Okay, so you can see this is a sent. That means after completing our form, we use this submit button to submit our form. And last one is actually reset. So it can be like clear. That means we want to clear our form without submitting the data. For example, we just fill some area, but don't want to submit it, or we just want to clear it to start from the beginning. In that case, actually, we can use this clear and to clear up all the input that whatever we have done already. So this more actually about the input type. Now I will do some basic layout with the registration form, which will actually look more like this. And one thing I have to place that is a placeholder I will use now. Placeholder actually is used for something suggesting the user. For example, first name. You can see this is the first name. Just so this is about the first name. That means you can say a suggestion and there what actually input should be there. So you can just though those are not the text, because when I type something, this will actually disappear. So this is actually suggesting user, which called is the placeholder. Okay, now I'll go for a basic registration form design, and for that I will use another thing which is called a label. Okay, let me put some paths for the form just for styling purpose. My form, and I want to make those input in the same line. So like I just want to make it deep here. class input row, and within the input row I want to keep level and input type. So level is used for just as like the placeholder, but placeholder is used in the box, but the level is actually outside the box. We will see actually how to be used. So I just want to like first name and the input type text. So this is the first name and first name. We don't need the placeholder because I are using already the level. And for this input type, we can use for the class like input text. Okay, and we can create some other, just copying this portion of the code. So it can be like name, name, password. But there is another type which I forgot to mention it. It is actually the type password. But I will also show here actually how password work, and name, email, password. Oh, another thing, so which is country. That is the drop down. And there is another input type which is called the drop down. Yes, drop down is for like the radio box selecting one thing, but it will be show as the drop down list. So drop down start with the selected and with the selected, and within those selected we have many options. So it's a value like PD. I will give some country name, country. So like which India, total, USA, and so on. Just giving some demo. So this is the country, and we can give the different value just for okay. So this is the total. I will show you how it will work. Now I'll copy another section and make it some other option like skills. So it can be checkbox. So HTML, CSS, jQuery, PHP. That's it for now. And also make another thing like the gender. So I'm just copying this area. Should I just copy keeping the same layout so that we can actually easily styling those options without many CSS code. So for gender, I'm just using this one. It's male and female. Okay, just basic. Okay. Gender. And finally, just it will submit something. So let's check how it's appear here. So you can see a basic form element edit, and this is the country that's drop down. You can see you can select anything, and this is the checkbox, and this is actually the gender and also send. Well, now I'll do this styling here. So we take already class for form. So my form. So let me check if I have any problem. So it's ensuring everything is going fine. Okay, no comments so far. So hopefully everything going fine here. Okay, so the my form would be just going to make it get in the center, and you can put like 600 pixel. You can have like 500 pixel. That's the background color. Just click on it. And for this input row, I just want to make it 100% and some margin padding. 100%. Continue like 10 pixel and 2 pixel. And for the label, I just want to make it the full left so that it will stay in the left side and it will be like 1 pixel. Let's check this. Yeah, so it is now better. But I want to make it larger, so I can use input and like 1 pixel. Okay, but this checkbox actually will not work, so it's just reading the text for the text. Okay, so the text are here, no, and the others are fine. And I can see some margin for the level because it is totally in the right part, so I can give some margin left around 20 pixel and also increase the margin top so that it takes more space. Okay, and also can just can give some title here. So in the input row, inspiration. And for the H2, I can give some styling also. So my H2 will be like font size and in the text area center. So this is the registration form and this is submit, and I will make some styling for the submit also. So for the submit, I will take class submit ETN. The reset ETN. For submit angles and styling, like I want to make it margin left 20 pixel, color like background color, so text color white, font size 18 pixel, font bold, pixel in center. That's it for now. Okay. And there is a border also, so I just want to remove it. I think 18 pixel is very high. So that's fine. And for the now, submit, and for clear I use the almost the same code, just a different color. Yellow. Okay, is it clear? Yeah, here is not good to see, so I can make it orange color. And margin left is now required for I think 5 pixels will be fine. Well, so our basic registration form has been created with some standing now. And finally, we'll do some validation with HTML5. That means we want to validate whether the user input any data or it is the email address and so on. So for that reason, I will use something a keyword. Well, this keyword, the required. So required is used for if you want to make it mandatory. That means without filling the input box, actually user cannot submit the form. So I'm just using a keyword required, which is actually HTML5 feature. So now just if I want to submit without filling this input box, it shows some warning or error that please fill out this field. That means I have to give some data here. After giving data, is now the error disappears. And also we can use for this email also reach here, and also you can use the email tag email. So if I now use the email, so you can see this is reach here. You can hit here some data, but it is still shows another error, which is actually please enter an email address, because you can see this is not a valid email address format. So if I use like yahoo.com, so now actually it is the valid email address and no error shows, so I can submit it here. And this is Tiny. So we can actually use those validation which was not available in HTML4 after coming HTML5, and it was done with the jQuery plugin. But now we can actually do this within HTML5 feature, the required type email and required for the email address also. So this about today's session. If you have any questions, you can ask about anything about today's session. I will just complete our session within few minutes. And meanwhile, I will show something about the CodersTrust. Actually, what is CodersTrust? CodersTrust is basically a Denmark-based company which is working in many countries. Which is started from Bangladesh and now also working in India, Bhutan, Malaysia, Kenya. So a lot of countries actually are coming soon. So the vision is very high actually for the Coder Trust. It What's the difference actually between the Coder Trust and other institute? That means there are a lot of institute which actually provides ID training. Well, the main difference is actually Coder Trust not aims to make you something learn, also enable you to earn something with your skills. Coder Trust is actually helping you to make prepare properly for the marketplace like global marketplace, freelance or Upwork. And already there are some success stories of the student of Coder Trust who have already started working in the marketplace after getting skill from the Coder Trust. And there is some expert team in the Coder Trust. After completing the course, you can actually get help for any type of project that you will get in the marketplace. And there is some course outline you can check, like 4 month front-end development, also the 7-month full stack development. So whichever actually you have the interest, you can just uh, proceed to the specific course. There are also an Android course, also Android application, and there is some soft skill. That means like negotiating skill, how to present your proposal to the client and handling client everything. So you will get the total actually guidance, not only for learning, also the earning from the Coder Trust. And the method of the Coder Trust is very effective and it worked fine for many students already. So if you have the patience to explore your skill, I think a Coder Trust would be best choice for now. So do hurry if you have any plan to enroll in the next course of the Coder Trust. Okay, I hope you will comment. Whoever joined later or see the session later, you can see the whole session in the same URL, the recorded version. If you have any questions or suggestion, you can just comment here. I'll try to reply it later. So, still then, goodbye. Take care.